What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today, I'm going to be talking about Seaworld and Cedar Fair. Throughout the past few weeks, we have been following them because, well, they've had a pretty interesting past few weeks. If you don't know, a few weeks ago, Seaworld offered to buy Cedar Fair. Now, for the past few weeks, we've really had nothing to build upon. But fortunately, a few hours ago, Seaworld came out with a statement. So, did the purchase go through? No! A few hours ago, Seaworld posted a statement confirming that they would not go through with the purchase of Cedar Fair because Cedar Fair denied them. The exact statement says, and I quote, "In response to inquiries from various stakeholders, we confirmed that our offer to acquire Cedar Fair was rejected. Unfortunately, we do not see a path to a transaction." Now, I feel like this is honestly kind of an obvious thing. A lot of us enthusiasts, like I said, were not expecting it to go through, and the popular vote was that it wasn't. And let me be honest, it was not realistic whatsoever. Cedar Fair is a massive company. If you don't know about this bid and the history of it, well, I did make a video about it a few weeks ago, so I'm going to put that link in the description. But to cap it all up, they were trying to bid for a purchase of Cedar Fair and all of its resources for $3.4 billion. Now that sounds like a lot to the average coaster enthusiast, but keep in mind, this was a very low bid for such a massive company. Cedar Fair is a huge company, boasting parks all over the continent, having 11 major parks and many other resources going towards it. 3.4 is just not enough. In fact, many people estimate that Cedar Point alone is worth just about $2 billion. And a few years ago, Six Flags offered to buy Cedar Fair for around $4 billion, and they knocked it down. So I don't think if they were to accept a $4 billion, they would definitely not accept a $3.4 billion. We all saw this coming, but we just needed the nail to be nailed into the coffin. Over the past 2 years in the COVID-19 era, a lot has changed for both of these companies. Like I said, Six Flags offered $4 billion, and a lot of people in the comments of my last video talking about this made a good point that SeaWorld did a lot better with money in the pandemic than Cedar Fair did. Cedar Fair honestly was a pretty big failure in the past 2 years, losing a lot of money. Well, SeaWorld played it a lot more conservatively, waited to open up their coasters, waited to open up at full capacity, and they did a lot better financially throughout the past 2 years. Many people thought this was going to go through, and for that reason. Plus, SeaWorld is absolutely expanding like wildfire. After their Blackfish scandal, a lot of us thought that SeaWorld was never going to recuperate. But with their new business model of adding more amusement park rides and focusing less on animal exhibits, we have seen them bounce back a fair bit. So, is SeaWorld done with their expectations of buying new parks? Well, I'm going to make a little bit of a prediction. My small prediction for this video is that this is not going to be the only attempt that SeaWorld does at a park. In my personal opinion, SeaWorld wants to grow, whether it be from Cedar Fair parks or other parks. They want to expand their quantity of parks and not build any new parks due to money concerns. Now, there are a lot of parks that are struggling across North America, and even though Cedar Fair lost a few dollars throughout the pandemic, I wouldn't consider them struggling whatsoever. And so my prediction is that they might buy a struggling park chain or struggling park whatsoever. A lot of people mentioned Marineland and their recent struggles with animal cruelty charges, which is a little ironic, but oh well. I think SeaWorld Niagara Falls would be an absolutely phenomenal idea. It would go right up against Six Flags Darien Lake, which has also been in the news lately. So yes, I think SeaWorld is going to buy new parks in the near future. Just not parks as big as Cedar Point, Kings Island, Carowinds, etc. Now, talking about Cedar Fair, I think everything is going to stay the same with Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair is trying to grow as much as they can as a generic theme park chain. They have some pretty good roller coaster projects, and I really feel like in the next few years, we're going to see some innovative stuff throughout their parks. We have some empty plots of land like the Wicked Twister plot, the Vortex plot, the Volcano plot, etc. And I feel like Cedar Fair wants to stay Cedar Fair and keep hold of their attractions and grow as a company. I think it's a really good decision that this did not go through because, let's be honest, this would be sort of a monopoly. People say that both SeaWorld parks and Cedar Fair parks are better than Six Flags parks. Imagine them as a combined force. They would be absolutely massive, and Six Flags would be absolutely nothing compared to it. It would be a mega company. So I feel like competition's a great thing. And SeaWorld has parks nowhere near the Cedar Fair parks with the exception of Busch Gardens Williamsburg and Kings Dominion. And I feel like when it comes to competition, they are definitely compared a lot. So, like I said, very good that it's not going to happen, and I feel like SeaWorld is going to buy something in the future. So what do you think about all of this? Do you think this is going to happen? What are your thoughts on the acquisition? So let me know down in the comments below. This is Cedar Flags, and I'll see you all later.